All right, stream's live again. Here we go. We're coming all the way down, baby. We are coming all the way down. We're looking for 24th 703, all the way down. All the way down, baby. I told y'all. Don't say Daddy didn't tell you. Daddy told you. Daddy told you. It's like sitting on Santa Claus' lap and saying, "Hey, what do you want for Christmas? I want the S&P and the Nasdaq to reverse the entire green." Okay, it'll be done. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. All the way down. Another 100 points still, and we'll get the low of the day. All the way down. This candle faked me out. I didn't enter short. That's called the hanging man there, Cole. That's actually quite bearish. Hanging chads, that's right. So whenever you've got a bottom, even though it's the 1 minute chart, you're looking at the 1 minute. Anytime you got a bottom wick like that immediately gets demolished, it's called a hanging man. No bueno. That's just pattern analysis, but Daddy's here. But either way, whether or not this thing, let's assume, let's reduce this here. This red line is yesterday's high. So, all right, decent chance we're going to pivot off of that at least once. But let's take a look at this orange line. Let me make it orange. That orange line right there is the consolidation absorption. Right there, 24,930, 940 or so. Anytime you've got a prolonged consolidation, and it quickly and erratically breaks it like that, you never chase it. Never. There are going to be times where it does it and it just keeps on blasting, whatever. But a vast majority of the time, you're at least going to get captured, like a liquidity trap. The whole point of that candle is to stop out the short positions, and then they roll it back over. And then you determine whether or not you want to see if it's going to bounce and continue to go up. So you never consider chasing the first breakout. If anything, you wait for it to break, you come back down, and then you buy, which Linda Rasky says you buy the first pullback after a new high. And that's the whole concept. So it blasts right on back down. You have a high volume spike. You've got a top wick. You've got a full 3C all the way back down. And they just killed that candle at 10 o'clock. Guess what? To stop out the shorts. It's just short people, baby. It's just liquidity stops all over the place, like Venus flytraps. That's all it is. Venus flytraps. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. I absolutely love it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Wildly inappropriate. I finished a sardines book the other day. It's great stuff. Yeah. All the way back down, baby. I'm telling you, 702. They're going to do every penny of it. Every penny. Watch this. Watch freaking this, baby. Watch freaking this. It's unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. All the way down. 763, we have put buying, call selling. What did options chain do with the highs? Before we even put on this green candle, what did the option chain start to do? That was my first indication, which wasn't even a 3C. Before we even put on this big green candle at 951, they started to sell all the calls. The calls started dropping like a rock. Dropping like President Trump's approval rating. All the way down. Top wicks back over off 980, and then done. So then, of course, we have the confirmation of the price action. It's extraordinary. I thought we'd have an afternoon fade that was quick. I don't know when they were going to do it, but I knew they'd undo every penny of today's move. So, not including the pre-market. The pre-market, we'll see. If they can take out low of the day, then we'll go for pre-market move. Apparently, they will move over as your max account size. So between 4 accounts, I have 67. No, that's true. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, I wouldn't count on taking a payout when you go live. They told you that. That was my frustration for them. So they're terrible. I'm sure they're inundated with requests now. So I'm telling you, dude, Top Step is where you need to trade. If you had 5 accounts on Top Step and you made 67 grand, guess what? You'd have $67,000 in your bank account right now. You could withdraw it. TPT, what did I say? TPT is what I meant. If you traded with TPT, all that money would be in your account right now, which was my frustration too, because I made 150 grand with Top Step, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is so great. And then they told me, sorry, you can't touch this until after 30 days in live. And I'm like, all right, that's great. And then I'm saying to myself, if I would have done this on TPT, I would have 150 grand in my bank account. I would just trade and transfer it out right now, but whatever. I went all in TPT last week. Out of the last 4, funded using the money from TPT. Yeah. How's it? Dude, I've said it like 3 times. I'm not live. I'm not live. Like I know you're pumped up about your live account, but I'm not live. Yeah. So, not yet. Not yet. I took a loss. I got to get back. Which at this point I don't really care. I've taken my 5 grand payouts. I could care less. They pulled me to live, whatever. Especially after all these shenanigans with Top Step, I am going to focus on TPT. And my personal account too. Which, you know, I've been doing a lot better with all this downside. It's good stuff. OM is bald, not live, yeah. All right, so still coming off here, we have beautiful top wicks. We have $1 billion in puts. We have $258 million in calls sold. So the option chain is very bearish. Very bearish. We're just kind of fading on over here. Let's go take a look at everything else. ES is here. Now, what is going on at the moment? They de-VIXed. So VIX went from 23 down to 18.8, and now they're buying back up. So they had to de-VIX. They juiced some of that premium, and now the move continues. Everyone gets all bulled up. Bulled up. Pretty sure I'm cooked on those 3 payouts sad times. What do you mean? You'll get, you still, I mean, the good thing is that if you have multiple accounts, just take your 5 grand out per account. That's still great money. And then keep on doing that, and then, you know, get the 30 days live. It's still great money. I mean, heck. 24,820. Good stuff, baby. I'm ready for the weekend. We got some glorious weather coming. I got my onions are sprouting. The first seeds of the year are sprouting. It's good stuff, man. Got some Patterson onions. Top Step kept your GX550 money. Oh, I'm getting my GX550 money. So yeah. 24,870 and going. A little bit of a bottom wick. I'm not chasing the upside either. I will not take a single long trade today. That's a pretty long wait list for those in case you want to put your name down. For the GX550? Yeah. It's alright, we'll see. Ain't no thing. My brother-in-law is a car dealer, so I'll get him to find me one when it comes time. I hate buying new cars. I hate buying fancy cars, but the wife wants it, so I'll do it for her. Q600 where we bounced heavy put wall there. So this is the retest. The retest. Right here. So we have obviously this little block. It's the POC on the shorter time frames. It's the smack dab middle of the range. It's the bounce, 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 and then fail. And now we have twice rejection off 24,840. So this is the indication here that things are still bearish. The fact that they are failing to put in higher highs, and they are rejecting yesterday's highs, and they cannot recapture half the range. Prior support resistance flip failed, and now you're going to come on down to 24,700. Do they come in flat, dead, or dark earth? Yes, they do. It's a great car. Yeah. Looking forward to it. When you trade with TPT, what do I use? I use Quan Tower. Quan Tower. Yeah. I'm an FDE guy. A lot of my guns are FDE. My favorite pistol is FDE. My truck is FDE. So I like that color a lot. And then her car will be that too. So GWAT trend, yeah. You could tell I'm GWAT. Yeah. The next war will be all green. We'll go back to the Vietnam green because we're going to be in Venezuela and Argentina. Looks like Michigan consumer was a little weak and inflation expectations a little higher. Let's check the March FOMC, which is the next FOMC we've got. What's the rates telling us? Let's see. 84% chance of a pause. So we have another pause. All of this is over my head. It's all right. These 1 minute candles are 40, 50 points. Yeah, I mean, you've got to be able to adapt to the conditions. And right now, these candles are very large. And we're about to come on down and tap 24,700. 24,000. They are buying the crap out of puts and selling calls. Makes you want to say, Can you help me with this one when you have a chance? Let's take a look. So this is where I struggle. The indication to go short on the 1 minute I like to trade is the 5, okay? As I feel more comfortable. The 5 minute didn't show a volume spike on the candle sweep. 1 minute was more clear. Can anyone help with my read on this? Obviously. All right. So what have I said about the 1 minute consistently? What do I use the 1 minute for? Volume. Exactly. That's the exact, what you just posted is the exact reason that I track the 1 minute for volume. So I go to the 1 minute and I look for volume spikes because I want to see the earliest instance of volume that I can. So the 1 minute will tell me, hey, we have volume coming in supply, outlier volume. And then I switch to the 5. What do we have? Which I'm not switching to the 5 on my screen because I've got another screen open with the 5 minute that you all can't see. It's the same exact thing what you're looking at, except it's the 5 minute chart. And I'm looking at it. So I see the 1 minute high volume spike. I've got the 5 minute top wick forming. Plus the experience part of things, which we talk through, is liquidity trap. This is a 3-candle liquidity trap right here that happens usually after a prolonged period, especially going into a prior session high. So we have location. 24,960 is yesterday's high. That is a beautiful target to short. So we do the liquidity trap. We have the top wick with volume. We have the lower low. Everything sets up perfectly in a nice little package. Down we go. Did they get rid of the cucumber GIF? I don't know. All that to say is that the third C is very, very important, but it's also an art form. The third C cannot be, it has to be experienced. It has to be seen through your butt in the seat. Seat time. Where's the OP asking questions? Like Domino OP? What's OP? Original poster. I'm an original poster? Like an OG, except OP? Original poster. They're in Discord. Oh yeah. I've got a Discord. I'm answering questions to Discord. Yeah. Almost cool. I still love you. I love it. Yeah. Do I have an FDE 110 SASS? I do not. I do want to build an MK12, but I do not have one of those. No. First time I jumped on the stream, I'm like, are you talking to someone on the phone? You didn't even know what Discord was. I didn't even know what Discord was until my post went viral on Reddit. I had no idea what Discord was. Never heard of it. And everyone's like, hey, you should open a Discord. All right, what is that? I had to Google what Discord was. I'm on Discord. Which channel? It's in the stream analysis channel. If you're not a member, then you won't see it. You'll have to become a member to see the channel. So we are still dealing with this SR flip. If we take the SR flip, we'll probably re-engage yesterday's highs. If we keep on failing it, of course, you know the target. Right now, the option chain is still very bearish. I have closed out my short position. Do you have a backpack 300 blackout that you can carry in the diaper bag everywhere? I don't have one. I've never been a fan of the short barrel. I like short barrel, like the 10-inch, but the 8-inch and pistols below, I was never a fan of. But I do want to build one. I do want to build one. Only recently has 300 blackout actually grown on me. I do have a 300 blackout, but yeah, with a suppressor, yeah. I want to build an SBR, especially now that I don't have to pay the $200 extortion fee. But yeah. I want to use a 300 blackout for purely suppressed fire. Like, I have no desire to go buy a bunch of 300 blackout ammunition. I will only buy 300 blackout subsonic ammunition and just use my 223 for everything else. So, and I'll buy, and I want to have like 10,000 rounds of subsonic 300 blackout ammunition on me at all times. But that's it. Subs only. Top wick here at 24,850. Google what Discord is, not asking ChatGPT. This was pre-ChatGPT, dude, 2021. I still don't use ChatGPT. I still don't use it. All right, we recaptured the SR flip, so we're coming back up. There we go. We almost got down to low of the day. I'll take it. I'll take it. I told y'all I'm not taking a single long today, and I mean it. I'm not going to touch a single long today. I don't care. I got my trade on. Got exactly what I needed. Because the reason why is because it's they're setting the bait, and I don't know when that bait is going to hit. So, and I don't want to be captured in that. It's Friday. I don't want to ruin my week. I've got a beautiful weekend ahead. The weather's supposed to be fantastic. It finally doesn't look like, winter fell out there. But so we'll see where we can go. Coming up, NASDAQ. So far, almost a 200-point bounce on NASDAQ. There's plenty to be made here either way. Let's go take a look at the 5. Volume is pretty consistent across the board. We don't have any indications of spikes. On the 5-minute, we have this sweeping top wick, and then engulfing. So 3 tests of the 24,850, and we finally breached. So that tells you that the buyers are still in the game here. What makes you think they're setting the bait? The daily chart is bearish. The daily chart is quite bearish, and I think a lot of this has to do with just there was a very inflated premium and very inflated VIX, so they de-VIX a little bit. We come back up. The market doesn't sell off every day, so we've had a very bearish couple of days. This is the recapture of some higher prices, close out some puts, take some positions, stop out the shorts, de-VIX a little bit, sell some premium, and then of course we'll continue on. These candles are aggressive. Whew, these are 60-point 1-minute candles. Jeez Louise. Wow. See what I mean? This is why I'm not taking long positions. That is why I'm not taking long positions. because you're going to get clapped trying to chase these long greens. No bueno, man. No bueno. Me personally. Y'all do you. It ain't easy being green. 860 of puts buying. You must have big squirrels. Yeah. All the way down, baby. All the way down. Look at that. Look at that, baby. I had a post go viral yesterday. It was my most liked post I've ever posted, and it wasn't even trading related. I was laughing at it last night. My phone was going crazy last night. I'm like, holy crap. I was like, this is not even trading related. It had 2,000 likes. That's funny. That's funny. I did long after that red failure to the thesis of the recapture, which it did, but I set a PT and I was out. Nice. Where was the post? On Twitter. What was that one? Look, big old green buy up, man. Look at this. It's back and forth. 300 subs are great for HD, but supers have their place in my opinion. Oh yeah, 100%. That's what I was saying. Like my 300 black will only be for suppressed, and my my 223s will be for everything else. I'll just keep those super. Yeah, they actually rejected their offer. Like the Clintons made an offer that, hey, we'll do it, but I want it public, I want it open and live. And they said, we'll do it, but it's going to be closed, and we'll just record it and give it to the public. Yeah, heavily redacted. So just nonsense. It's the most fraudulent government in history. The entire thing, all of them, Republicans and Democrats, they're all frauds. 6.5 Creedmoor for hunting. I've got a 6.5. I love that gun, dude. Love that gun. It's beautiful. Coming back up here, 24,900. We're going to look to recapture the 960 apparently. All the way up. I'm in communist Virginia, so I only have 5 months to get what I want for the rest of my life. Dude, that is so heartbreaking to see. What's happening in Virginia is an absolute catastrophe. An absolute catastrophe. They're passing sweeping gun regulation in the state of Virginia to undo what they call assault rifles by someone who shares no American values. It's absolutely preposterous. What's the motto of Virginia? Like someone posted on my Twitter last night. He's like, That's pretty ironic concerning the state motto of Virginia. And I looked it up, and I was like, holy crap, like, you are right. So what's happening in this country is a complete travesty. So, yeah. I'm in Virginia too, Southwest Virginia though. Totally different than blue areas. Won't work out well for Virginia trying to force those BS laws. Well, I got to think that the Supreme Court will step in and shoot those down. But the day is going to come where the Supreme Court is going to uphold those things. And then it'll be incumbent on the local sheriffs not to enforce it. Like the sheriffs will have to come out and say, I'm just not going to enforce this. You can do what you want. That's the only way to fight back about that. And then after that, of course, is complete, I guess, the citizens will have to do it. No one is complying. Not even Minnesota does that stuff. Last time they tried to do that, people were in the streets pretty quickly. Yeah. Yeah. I'm in Virginia. They don't know how many ex-military, ex-contractors they have who don't give an F about their law. Well, that's the thing, is that we could choose to comply or not comply as citizens. And, you know, obviously the choice there, easy choice, don't comply. I had a policeman visit my house to quiz me before I got my gun license. Heh. I'd give him something to quiz. How often does spot gamma show the option chain is fairly bearish and the price action doesn't reflect it? It happens sometimes, but it's all about not only, you can't look at just the quantity of delta, you've got to look at the flow. Because we can have like a $3 billion puts on the books, but if that line is trending back up to closing those puts, then the price action can freaking fly. So you've got to look at you have to look at the quantity of the delta, and you have to look at the flow itself. Like right now, yes, we are at 720 million puts purchased, but they're in the process of closing out those puts, so it's upward. So we're from 1.1 billion up to 750, and if it keeps on trending, then it'll just drive positive gamma higher. Except we all have to not comply. Even there isn't a meaningful number of non-compliance. Non-compliers go straight to jail. You're exactly right, yeah. Somebody's going to have to sacrifice. That's the thing, to get it started. Somebody has to sacrifice. Who's going to be that person? 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. Bottom wick, right here. When I put on an option trade, what DTE do I use? Most of the time I'm using, right now when I do any option trading, it's going to be weekly stuff. It's going to be swing trades. Every now and then I'll throw down some zeros. I'll only touch zeros when price action is very volatile and IV is very high. The reason why I choose to trade options, zero DT options when volatility increases, that is usually counterproductive to what people think. Usually I think when things get volatile, you don't want to trade zeros. In my opinion, it's the exact opposite. The whole purpose of zeros is to take advantage of the gamma explosion and make a lot of money. That's why we want to trade zeros. You can make a lot of money very quickly. The biggest enemy of zero DT options is theta. And if you're trading a very low IV environment, very stable environment, then theta is going to play a huge part in that option. You're going to have to wait a long time. When I trade a zero, I want to know pretty dang quickly if I'm right or wrong so I can get out of the trade. So when the price action is moving 100 points in 10 minutes, cool. I want to put on a zero DT position and see if I can make 1,000% in 10 minutes. That's the whole point of zeros. And of course, I'm not risking a lot. I'm only playing, usually even with my account, I'm only playing with anywhere up to $5,000 on a zero DT. I don't really risk more than $5,000 on a zero DT trade. Not in this market. But most of the time, it's multi-day, 5 to 7 day expiration, multi-week, multi-month. Isn't Dev Group based in Virginia? I believe it is, yeah. Look at this. We're going new highs. 24,920. Nvidia's up 6.5. Yeah, it is. Why is Nvidia up so much? Jeez. My wife is Cambodian. Never mess with Filipino, Vietnamese, or Cambodian. They'll lose. Yeah. Are we going back to the low volume grind up madness? Negative. I think the downtrend is here to stay for now. This is just a green bounce off of the it's the Friday closeout. They were probably positioning for non-farm payroll today, which obviously didn't happen. We have de-vixing, de-hedging, a little bit of a bounce. I mean, you're going to have green bounces in downtrends. You get bad news this weekend? Probably. Probably. They're allowed to sell the H200 chip. Yeah. Corn butter. Dan. I bet Dan eats corn the long way. This market's giving me 2022 vibes. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Dan eats corn for the shape. I love it. All right, we have 178 million in calls purchased, 561 puts. That's up from 1.1 billion. So they are trending towards positive delta. We have this very slow, grindy up here. Not a lot of great 3C action. Like I said, I'm not touching any longs today. I'm just not going to do it. I would not be surprised to see, of course, lower prices into the afternoon, but I don't know. I'm not touching any longs today. We'll reevaluate on Monday. I miss Dan from the Discord. I'll be back soon enough. Dan's pretty great. Dan's pretty great. Best day for me this week. I think I'll call it early and hit the gym. Nice, Jonathan. Go get those back squats, baby. Squat heavy. Squat heavy. Where is Dan to defend himself? He probably just signed. Oh, there he is. I just bought an IGV call of 2027. Do you think I'm smart? Do you think it's smart now? Let's take a look. Interesting. Do I think IVG call 2027? Well, from a VPA standpoint, we have a very obvious bounce zone coming up. It's already bounced 5 times at the 77.26 level. We have tremendous volume coming in, so we could have some volume support here. Now, in my opinion, I think the bull market from 2020 until now is done. At least not without a significant drawdown. So that's my personal opinion. Now, from a VPA standpoint, we look like we have a base coming in here. So yeah, right here. There's NASDAQ, big old green, right back up. We had this low here, 24,150. We almost bounced off of it. We got within a couple of points of it. $24,920. I have a weightlift comp coming up this beginning of March. It's been a heavy week. Oh, nice. What do you compete in? Just the three lifts? Yeah, buddy. I don't know how much lower that can go. Well, don't ever take a trade based on that. Obviously, you know that. But I mean, from a short-term bounce, the conditions are prime for a bounce there. We have volume, we have support. The only thing going against you, of course, is macroeconomic conditions at the moment, and the fact that it's already bounced there like 7 times. But just put on a stop, and you'll be good to go. I did see a theory that they are intentionally trying to kill Bitcoin because the mining facilities are using too much power that otherwise needs to be directed to data centers. I don't know if that's accurate. I saw it on the internet. Can you give me a happy birthday on the live? What's up, Dan? Happy birthday, buddy. Happy birthday. Hope you have a fantastic birthday. Don't ruin it with the market. Get your green trade in or get no trade in and go enjoy your birthday, buddy. What are you, 21, 22? What are you? Load of crap? Probably. Love tinfoil. Data centers rent out space to miners. Someone is dumb. Ah. Double down, it's your birthday. Yeah. Sign up for TPT waiting to become activated. Any advice? Should happen pretty quickly. You know, anytime I've ever tried to activate it, it's usually pretty instantaneous. If it's not, then I would reach out to customer support. They wouldn't crash it. They'd find a way to pass the cost over to us. Yeah. Here's a fun fact. Data centers are a new haven to use a certain amount of electricity that are new have to use a certain amount of electricity each month. If they don't, they get fined. They usually haul in a miner and hook it up between customers. Really? What's the theory behind that? Apparently, some of these guys are getting their top steps popped for hedging. It wasn't recent. Weeks to months ago, Rector Reactive getting pawned. Lots of trying people down it. It smells like funding ticks all over again. It blocks energy from the power company. They buy blocks of energy from the power company. I see. Fines don't matter, do they? Subsidize. Can you highlight any 3Cs that happened today during the market open so I can see where they occurred? Yeah, so the first one was the one that we took, which was right here. High volume spike, as indicated, sweeping top wick on the 5, and then close under the lower low right here. The first 15 minutes there was some high volume, but obviously this 100 and something point move happened so quickly, I doubt anyone could have got in unless you were just planning to get in at 700. And then this crap here is just nonsense. So really the only clear one on NASDAQ is right here. High volume, top wick, down she goes. What, 300 points? I'm pretty much done for the day. I got to say I'm done for the day. It's just it's Friday. Thank you. What do I think about RSPs at all-time highs? Right now, I am personally in a very hands-off part of trading, long term, which is the first time I've been this way since 2019. So, it's just I don't have a good feeling for a lot of stuff right now. Maybe a 3C on CL. Statistically, 10:30 to 11:15 is when the reversal is more likely to occur. Nice. Right now, we are just kind of popping up against yesterday's highs and another top wick back over. On down. TPT almost looking like the same all time, like the time is near. It's going down, yeah. You're welcome, CM. Obviously, I'm a big believer in the long-term TLT trade. I think you need to be accumulating TLT right meow. What you could even do, and here's the thing, man. You know, if you want a low-cost strategy that's low risk for TLT, what do you want to do? accumulate enough cash to buy 100 shares of TLT, and then sell puts against them. To sell puts at a lower price that you don't mind owning TLT on. And then if you get breached and you get called, cool, you own TLT. If not, you collect a little bit of money every week to sell a weekly put on TLT. I mean, it's an easy, low-risk strategy on TLT. So, been doing that for over a year. There you go. That's all you have to do. It's called cash secured puts, baby. Cash secured puts. How are you determining what strikes to sell weeklies on a TLT? Thus prior supports. TLT hasn't moved in like 3 years, so it's pretty easy to determine the supports on it. The thing just doesn't move. I don't know what this means. Translating, no way. I think that's Chinese. No, it's Japanese. That's a Japanese flag. How much would those puts pay out generally? Never really messed. I mean, you're only making a couple of $100 a month doing that. You're not making much, but you're not supposed to make a lot with selling options. Look, another rejection off of the day's highs. I didn't take this short. I told you I'm not really taking much else today, but beautiful rejection. This is the fourth C. The fourth unspoken C is location. Yesterday's highs, 960. 2 aggressive sweeping rejections off this level. It's like printing money. So, yeah. Don't take offense to this question. With all the grift and lies as a military guy, you surely did things to people you probably wouldn't have otherwise done. This has been trouble. What do you mean? You talking about in the military I did things to people that I otherwise wouldn't have done? No, I don't take offense to that, but you know. I mean, yeah, definitely. I just, you know, in my normal life, I wouldn't probably otherwise watch a guy explode into a million pieces. But that's what the military does, man. And you know, there's a lot of back and forth to that. There's a lot of back and forth to the things that I've done and things that I've seen. And did I do them for the right reasons? I did it because the military commanded me to. You know, I had my orders. You know, I don't agree with how we get into wars, if we even shouldn't be in wars, obviously. So that's the part that conflicted. However, I've seen these dudes do some evil stuff. So regardless of the reason why we're there, I've seen these Islamics cut off the head of every man in town. I've looked at a pile of 50 human heads in a pile, freshly cut off with blood everywhere. I've seen some and they made the kids and wives watch. They lined up the women, they lined up the children, and then they put all the men in the town on their knees and just went through with an axe. Chop, chop, chop. I've seen that crap, and it's evil, just because they were either pro-American or Christian. So I've seen an extreme evil. I've seen both sides of the tape. And I've come to the conclusion that I have no qualms with the things that I've done. And if I have to face Jesus one day and answer for those, I'll have an answer. My C9 LMG was glorious. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. So Catch-22 as an argument works regardless of sides. Yep. You're already forgiven. God doesn't judge you for the misunderstanding of his law. Yeah. All right, big rejection off the prior day's highs, man. Look at this, all the way down, man. I told y'all. This is why I'm not taking any long positions, because they are going to capture all this stuff, like bees to nectar, pollen. Do you like nectar? I do, man. You know, we have beehives, and they are they give us honey, man. It's good stuff. It's very complicated, but the West has done a good job making sure these areas are controlled by extremists. Yeah, they have. You're right about that. Can you explain a bit more about this rejection setup? Yeah, so, you know, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, maybe you're new. I trade what's called the three criteria system, the three C's. All it is my interpretation of VPA, which is volume price analysis. The first one is volume, the second criteria is wick, the third criteria is price action or follow through. In this case, we didn't really get that clear of a volume spike. We did get some volume spike here, but overall the volume is quite light on this move, so there wasn't a clear high volume indication. We did have an obviously sweeping top wick, and yet another. Who was it? What's that dude's name that didn't know about Hanging Man? There was another Hanging Man right there. So, yeah, we have the rejection back over, but there's a fourth indication that I look for, which is location. So this red line right here is, if you look back, yesterday's high price. That is a very critical area for the market. Now, knowing it, if you don't know about price action or liquidity, the harder the rejection, the more aggressive the rejection, the quicker the rejection, the more important this liquidity becomes. So if the buyers had come up into this is yesterday's chart, by the way, this right here. If the buyers, let me make sure you can see this. If the buyers had come to this level and just kind of did this number and stayed here for like 2 hours and kind of had this little lazy sweep down, this liquidity wouldn't be that important and we would probably blow right through it. But the fact that we one-tapped 24,960 and then got wrecked tells me that the supply here is very aggressive. There's a ton of supply. There's a ton of selling there. So, of course, because of that, fast forward to today's session, we come up and tap 960, we get wrecked. We come up and tap 960, we get wrecked. So understanding what's happening to the left of the chart back here yesterday can help you determine what's happening on today's chart. 1 second, I have to answer a phone call. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. Oh, man. All right, so another little bounce. Now we have volume coming in on this candle, which is interesting. The options are coming back up, and the recoveries are getting higher. So you see this. They are stair-stepping this thing up, which I would probably say they're about to breach 960 right now. So, got to say, still pretty peeved about this Pete 3C having to come on right on what's happening. So I reckon I didn't take it. I got to stay long. Wow, yeah. Do we take any trades today? Yeah, I've taken one trade. I haven't taken any longs, but yeah. China calls on citizens to leave Iran immediately. Uh-oh. All right, we're about to take 960. These are crazy moves. Yeah. OM definitely reads them in silence, and randomly you'll hear an ice cube crunch with a chuckle. That's accurate. Quite accurate. That's accurate. I qualified for 2 TPT accounts, 25K, and they're now fresh, and I start the intraday drawdown fight. Slow and steady, baby. Slow and steady. Take profits quick. Small position sizing. Grind it up. That's how you have to do the trailing drawdown, but it's incredibly important. It's incredibly rewarding when you do it. Golden Night Owl? Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about gold? We seem to be consolidating here at 4975. We're all on the same page here now. Kung Fu is gone. Yeah. I think pretty much everyone who's, got a problem with what we talk about here is gone already. I would think. I don't know. Gold. Here we go. All right, gold is sitting 49.70. 49.75. Let's go long term. Legging up. 15-minute POC, they broke 49.40 coming up here. Next target's probably going to be this high 50.43, but I mean, there's no sweeping top wicks here. We're just going. So you can't really look at a short until you get the 3C. I open up a 25K TPT. How much might I pass before I'm qualified for a payout? Let's take a look. You have to go into the knowledge base with TPT. I don't trade 25K accounts. Let's see. Google. Funded accounts. Yeah. 25K. No, thank you. There we go. $1,500 is what you got to make on the 25K accounts. Next class, we should talk about spotting 3Cs on a downward trend reversal. You like 3C downward trend reversal, like 3C bounces, or rejections that lead to a downtrend? Rejection to it. Okay, yeah. I keep spotting upward reversals, but downtrend. Well, I mean, that is not rare. In fact, you know, it's easier to play 3C longs than it is 3C shorts. Look at that. We just blasted 960. Higher bounces here, gathering inventory to put on a campaign to blast, and we'll probably start hitting a bit there. So, buffer for the 25K is easy if you're right. Easy to blow it. 150 is taking forever to reach the 9K buffer in the funded. Yeah, it's a give and take. From now on, stick all new joiners into DM with Dan for an hour. Bitcoin is giving people courage. Courage or hope? All right. So with the 1,500, how much? I would encourage you to get into the rules. I don't recommend anyone sign up for any accounts without knowing exactly what you're going to buy. So just FYI, if you're going to buy an account, just make sure you know exactly what you're going to buy and what the rules are. Just moving forward. With the $1,500, you've got to hit, if once you're funded, of course you have an evaluation. You got to pass the evaluation, you get funded. You have to make $1,500 on the 25K accounts, and that's your buffer. So you can't withdraw anything until you make $1,500. Anything after that, you could take out. So if you make 20 grand, you could take out 18,500 of it, and 1,500 of it is your buffer. I'm going to go take a nice long shower and think about how good life is. Those are the best showers. So. If you go negative, do you have to pay them back? No. That right there is the biggest upside to prop firms, is that it doesn't matter how bad it gets in prop firms, your losses are limited to what you pay for the account. So that's the whole reason right there that I even interact with prop firms, is that my downside is extremely limited and my upside is theoretically uncapped. It's going to be fun, Dan. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. Can we start with a smaller account? Yeah, so they have, what? They have 25K accounts. They've got 50,000, 75, 100s, and 150s, which those are just the names of the accounts. You have to actually look at the drawdown, which is every $500 you get an increment. So you get $1,500, 2,000, what is that, 2,500, 3,000, and then 4,500. All these people asking about live payouts with Top Step. Y'all are gonna be disappointed. Just FYI. I love the 25K accounts because profit target is nice. Yeah, it is. Obviously, if you could play within the drawdown, not to mention, you can't. I mean, it's so cheap you can't beat it. As long as you could pay within the 1,500. Things are still going here. We took out 960, new high of the day, and just going. I'm not taking a single long trade today. It's snowing heavily in Japan. Man, that is crazy looking if that's true. Wow. Sapporo, Japan. Here we go. I saw a tweet. Still going, NASDAQ. Yeah. I've always wanted to go skiing in Japan, too. But it looks like they're going to shut down tourism for a while, so I don't know if I'll get my chance. How's Hero looking? Pretty bullish. Straight selling puts and buying calls. Right there. Do you ever see a side-by-side comparison of Hiroshima versus Detroit? I have not. I just got a 150 count yesterday just to get a better drawdown. It feels like it's too much pressure to deal with the 2K drawdown. Yeah, so if I were you, Tennessee Vol fan, I would trade the 150 account with the same position sizing you did with the 50, and just go slow. You'll be fine. Dedicate like 2 weeks on your funded accounts to just grind. Forget about payouts for 2 weeks. Forget about making big money. Just grind it. And then, once you build all that money, then you start to do it. What's the white line on Hero? That is the cumulative delta across all expirations, not just zeros. What's the profit goal on a 25K account? 1,500. Prop firms are so complex and confusing. Just use my personal. If you've got the money to trade your personal, just do it. 100%. If you want to raise more capital, then use your prop firms to do it and just put them right inside your personal. I'm thinking about joining TPT. I don't have to pay for anything else. Correct. If you use that code OMTPT, you get 40% off. And that's it. That's all you have to pay. The only thing you'll have to pay in the future is if you get funded and then you get live. You get pulled into a live account, then you'll have to pay for the data because it's a live order book. But for the funded account, no, there's nothing. That's all it is, baby. Free funded account. Good stuff. Okay, this is an example. All right, so let's take a look at this. What do we have here? We have volume on this candle, which is that candle right there. So we have a top with volume. That's great. The highest volume candle we've had now in about an hour. But now you need to confirm. So switch to the 5. We have a small top wick, but it keeps on getting bottom wicked here. So you need a lower close. So you need at least this level to close to get you into a short position. There's no momentum here, so you can't really do a lot of front running. You can only front run when there's a lot of momentum. For this, you need to confirm under 974. But you have your highs, you have your volume, you've got the lower low is right here at 974. You're welcome. Imagine $150 per tick on gold. Yeah, it's spicy. Very, very spicy. You're welcome, Forrest. I'm telling you, man, TPT is the best out there. There's no games, no gimmicks, no nothing. It's just you make your money, you take your money. Do you recommend MNQ and MES versus NASDAQ and ES when doing evaluations? It depends on your experience level. If you're slinging minis and you're blowing up accounts left and right, then the obvious answer is that you're just going too big, so pull it back. Also, there's never a one-size-fits-all perspective. When conditions expand, you have to pull position sizing back. When the VIX is over 25, you probably should be trading micros, not minis. So you need to learn to adjust with market conditions. Don't just do one-trick pony where you're only slinging always one contract in that same thing. Or if you have a high confident trade, you could size up. If you have a low confidence trade, size down. Learn to adjust your sizing for the conditions. So you never got a lower low, so there's no short. China is once again urging citizens to leave Iran. And since China backs Iran, that's probably not that good of a thing to do. If you're listening from Iran right now, I would probably run. I want you to look back and say Iran from Iran. That was a terrible joke. Terrible joke. 8 minutes and we'll call it a day. What questions do you have? 6,900 is the SPX GEX at 98%. If I understand right, we'll get to that level institution want to defend. That's correct. So I would look for a sweeping rejection off of SPX 6,900. I would mark it, and I'd put you a notification at it and a little bit below it. Boo this man. Have a fantastic weekend to you too, buddy. I'll be in your neck of the woods tomorrow hunting iguanas and smacking 300-yard drives. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Hasta la vista. Anybody on YouTube, how you going? You love the Iran joke? Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Gold's looking shaky. Here, let's just undo drawings. Remove 45 drawings. There you go. There's yesterday's high. Must have removed it again. Break back under the morning high? Yeah. So I have to do my daily reset of this stupid indicator because I delete it every single day, which drives me freaking nuts. But it is what it is. There we go. Coming back over to retest the day's highs. We take that out, it'll just be just another move lower. GTA 6 is set to relieve November 19th. Beautiful. Have a great weekend. Always appreciate your opinions. Thank you, Rob. Have a good weekend. I'll see you next week. Come back and join us on Monday. NASDAQ with a beautiful top wick with volume there on that another liquidation candle. That's usually how it happens. Tops and bottoms are put in, usually, by aggressive one-sided candles. With what do I mean by one-sided? There's not a lot of wick to them. Case in point, that one. That one. Quick moves into supply and demand. Really enjoy the streams. Thanks, CMT. Appreciate you, buddy. Tell your friends. Come back on Monday. And, of course, like and subscribe. Help the community grow. What do you have to see to start putting on swing puts? You know, I don't really know. It's kind of one of those things. I'll know it when I see it. I know we're getting close to a pretty significant drawdown, especially getting into the middle to the end of Q1. You know, we're about halfway through Q1 already. So we're getting to the point where we're going to make a move. And I want to be a part of it. I want to put on something aggressive. I might put on like a 2-month dated put that's about 1,000 points down on the S&P, 500 points down on the S&P, and just kind of just take my hands off. I'll sell short dated puts against it to lower cost basis. You know, whatever. Big sweeping bottom wick, 5-minute gold. Is that enough volume for you to consider? Let's go take a look. Gold, 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 gold. Yeah, I mean, that's a 3C. The 5-minute, you need to close 4963.6 to break the downtrend because they've tried to tap this 3 times now, 1, 2, and 3. So I would at least close this 4963.8 to get you a 3C on the gold. If I'm being completely honest right now, like I would have just locked it up and enjoy the weekend for all stuff. I mean, we've worked hard. We've had a lot of great movement. We've called this week's action nearly perfectly. Let's have a good weekend. Come back on Monday. That's what I'd recommend. Speaking of which, that is 11:30 Eastern, which means our time this week has come to an end. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the day. Please don't do anything stupid on a Friday afternoon. It's not worth it. The extra little bit of profit that you want to get is not worth it. Go enjoy your weekend. It's going to be fantastic weather. If you're in the southeast, a much needed reprieve from the cold and ice. It'll almost feel like springtime. So other than that, I'll see you all bright and early Monday morning. I'll see you Tier 2 Sunday night. I'm out. See you.